All right, welcome to another video from the Chart Readers. Hey, if you haven't already, check out the website, chartreaders.com. It's a little bit cleaner than just watching these videos on YouTube, and then you can sign up for free weekly emails. All you need to give is an email address, no name or any info like that. On today's video, we're going to check out the FAANG stocks. I actually haven't done this in a while, so I wanted to make sure I touched on these, right? Just like we always do, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly charts. We're going to use our moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw, and then we'll end it with these lower indicators, the MACD and the RSI. Again, 80% of the work is pretty much done up here, and then I use these two for that like little cherry on top, right? And then in general, I do like RSI more than MACD, but ideally these are saying the same thing. So with all that, we're going to start with what used to be the F, now is the M. We are looking at META. Again, I haven't really done this video in a while, so I'm just going to kind of do a quick zoom back and then discuss, right? So there really was, I'll look at August and then go, why not? So August, it looked like this, what is this? This 155 line was a pretty good bounce point. And we actually start trading over the 8, right? The 8 is our green line for a number of days. Gotta love that, right? Right here, basically mid-August, what is this, the 20th, give or take, the 17th. This is where we not only lose the 8, but we also lose this line that I drew, right? So I love the fact that I kind of caught the bounce point. I also found the line that I couldn't get over, right? And then from there, once we lost this, we're basically in this pattern of overall trading under the 8, right? There was this attempt to go up and down and really a beautiful 4 days right here. But ultimately, a couple things struggled us, right? Whenever you see what I call a cluster, right? But basically 1, 2, 3 moving averages kind of stacked together and we're trying to get over it, you have to know that this is really hard to do, and you're gonna want some good confirmation, right? I do stress confirmation often. Unfortunately, it looked like we broke it here and got another positive day, but really I wanted to be a little higher up because again, this is just such a thick cluster, right? I call it cluster, that's not a technical term, right? But again, you should visually see it. Once we lose the 8, and I mean we devastatingly lose the 8, it should be no surprise that these following days really just start trading under the 8. Look, obviously the market's not doing well. There's been some surprises here and there, days that look green, days that look bad. All I really care about is this 8 moving average, and then from there a couple other things obviously, right? But rule number 1, if you've been watching these videos, stay above the 8 moving average, our green line, right? If you're above it, I'm interested. Once you lose it, I'm out. And look, again, this right here was really the one day that mattered, right? Because we had a real nice run going. It clearly stopped. And then, you know, all it was really trying to do was do it again versus make, you know, so again, I'm loving this 8. I hope you're loving the 8, but overall, this is not looking good at all, right? And then down here, look, kind of like a traffic light, right? Red is bad, green is good. Red is bad, green is good. I want to see the greens on top. I'm only seeing the reds, and no buenos right there. Coming to the weekly, look, the weekly, oh my goodness. So the weekly has pretty much been trading under the 8 since, what is this, April? Yeah, since right, oh my goodness, actually I have to zoom out one more. This was the last week. Early April was the last week we were trading over the 8. Again, we close under, we start over, but we close under. Little runs over it, but close under, close under. All we're doing is closing under. This was a decent, good 2 weeks. And again, we saw that on the daily, right? A good number of days because of a good number of 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks is a bunch of days. But this 20 right here, the 20 was ultimately a stopper, and then just trading under the 8, right? So if your weekly is bad, you're gonna have a number of bad dailies, right? And that's essentially what we're doing, right? We're looking for good weekly charts, which should mean we'll have a bunch of good daily charts, and we're swinging those bad boys. That's the goal, right? So META overall not looking very good over the immediate future at least. Amazon. So I'm pretty much going to say, yeah, look at that. It's almost an identical chart, right? So I'm not going to do the exact recap, but look, again, that early August run, around the middle of August, we lose the green moving average line. That's definitely our sell signal, right? A couple of attempts, and hey, look, this one actually broke the 20, broke my line, but no confirmation on the line break, right? It's really easy to do it once. Again, it did it once right here, but couldn't do it twice. Did it once right here, couldn't do it twice, right? So this is why I stress confirmation. Again, same thing. Once it lost this one, just, oh, why do we zoom? Sorry about that. Just the number of days going down. Okay, so there is live trading going on and my Zoom is messing up. That's actually what it is. So again, there's about an hour and a half of live trading, so you might see some numbers go up and down. But again, we're so far from the 8 that nothing devastating should happen, knock on wood. Okay, hold on now. I got to stop my... So we are literally to the penny sitting on my weekly support. If we close tomorrow below... I'm just going to round it to... If we close at 116.49 or lower, we might be running down to this basically $100 number. So I'm not liking this at all. We are losing a weekly support, and just like we saw on Meta, right? If you start to have a bad week, you're gonna have a bunch of horrible days. So, man, I did not like that weekly chart. That's actually very scary. Again, just looking at these real quick: green over red, green under red, right? Red on top, and we want green on top. So Amazon also looking a little bearish, especially over the short term. Amazon actually looking worse than Meta, in my opinion. Man, look at this. So Apple, oh my goodness. So this actually has a slightly different chart. And I want to stress what is this 100 moving average line, right? So in blue, we have the 100 moving. This thing definitely did the same run, right? Actually, it started a little earlier than, wow, look at that. So look, I'm just zooming out real quick. Right here, you see what happens when you get over the 8. You pretty much ride the 8. Look how many days, literally, you could have bought this right here. Hell, let's wait for the confirmation. Even if you waited here, which I would have been proud of you, right? Because you actually got the confirmation of the 20 break as well. You could have literally just done nothing for so many days and then sold right here, right? There were a couple moments where it looked like we were going to go under, but there was never actually a confirmation of losing either, right? This is a beautiful chart of why I love the 8 and why I stress what I stress on my videos. From there, look, it obviously had the same middle of August story. It had another run up, but this 100 has really been a saving point a lot more than we saw on the last tickers. Unfortunately, we're literally sitting on it to the penny. So look, the 100 moving is 152.14. We're at 152.16 right now, right? So, and we're dropping as I speak. So this is a little scary. Don't want to lose this, because if we lose this on the daily, oh my goodness, I actually have to make some more support lines. Okay, so I'm gonna make one right there. I'm gonna make one right there, and then I'll make one right, I'm going to use the under right there. Yeah, I like that actually. Okay, so yeah, look, if we lose 152, there's a real good chance we drop into basically 142, right? I do think that this line, because I hit right there, I almost hit there. This one's a pretty good, yeah, man, woo, I'm not liking this. Let's look at the weekly to see if I can make a better line off the week. Look, again, off the daily, I made the line and it pretty much hit right there. Now, these are good weekly lines. I'm going to draw one more down here. And look, again, this new one that I'm not sure, yeah, I think I drew 2 new ones, but this new one that I drew almost lines up to the penny on the weekly 100, right? So Apple is sitting at a really critical point right now. Yeah, again, this one hasn't fallen as much. But again, if we lose this 100, which you can see it's been a support, it bounced here, kind of bounced, you know, we're here again. Oh man, be careful here with Apple, be careful. Netflix. Okay, I personally have been watching Netflix so hard. I'm going to zoom out real quick, okay? There is such a beautiful gap to be filled. And look, I mean, it tested it once, it tested it twice, but it still just hasn't broken with good confirmation. And oh my goodness, one day we're gonna fill this gap. I know we will. Trust me, it's natural, but it's just not happening yet. And look, as much as I want it to happen, I'm taking my emotion out, right? Because I need confirmation before I just, you know, throw money and hope that gap fills, right? But immediately, look, almost the exact same story. Early run, middle of August drop. It actually looks like this 50, right? Almost, I would say the 50, and really almost the 8 itself caught a lot of the fall, because really this one didn't even need the 100, right? So, man, Netflix, I'm telling you, this one, in all honesty, I've been watching really for this gap fill. But again, you can see how strong this line is, right? It wants to get over, but just can't. It couldn't even really get over this time and just came down, right? Really ugly RSI. I'm not liking that, right? We had moments where it looked like it was good, but then failed. Looked like it was good, and now clearly it looks like it actually might start going down a little bit steeper than we want. So watch Netflix. Look, we're still over the green. So again, as long as we're over the green, there's still some consideration, but it's kind of looking a little scary, especially on this like, here we went, here's what I call a test, here's what I call a test, here's what I call a test. Even these inter-day tests, right? We had literally 1, 2, 3. We can call these 2 inter-days 4 tests on a line, and now we're kind of going down. That has me a little worried. But hey, if we can bounce on the 8, I'm still interested, believe me. So realistically, I can see us coming down to this 225, right? Either the 20 or maybe the 50 will be the bounce point, because really we've only bounced on this 50 once immediately. So I can see the 50 giving us another bounce. But watch Netflix for that gap fill especially. And then last up is Google. Jeez, Google looks horrible, right? So I would say Meta and Google are the worst ones. And again, I hope you can see why, right? Same early run, same mid-August drop. The difference is losing the cluster, right? This thing just lost all the moving averages and basically has been trading under the 8 horribly. This one looks a lot like Meta, which was the first one we did, right? Almost identical. I'm not even zooming out, and look at that. Just nearly identical, right? So Meta and Google were the worst. Netflix is technically the best, but again, signs are kind of looking a little bad on Netflix, and then really Amazon and Apple seem to be kind of tied together. So that's how my view is on these 5 fundamental tickers. And remember, if these 5 do bad, almost every other small one's going to do poorly. So obviously there's exceptions. There's some that'll do a little better and all that sort of blah, blah, blah. But remember, these are fundamental 5 right here, right? So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. I really hope you're learning. I sincerely do. Technical analysis is a very beautiful tool if you know what to do with it. Trade safely out there.